Alright guys, so this is kind of late notice. I had recorded these videos like a while ago. So in this video, you're going to be hearing me talk about, Islam fighting Charles Oliveira. Hi, Gracie. Hi. Yeah. Okay. You got the stretchies going. Okay. Yeah, you're going to hear me talking about Islam fighting Charles Oliveira. Obviously, that is not the case right now. Islam is set to fight Volkanovski, but I just wanted to give you that heads up. All right, enjoy the rest of the video.
All right, coming up next, it's a UFC lightweight division bout.
All right, guys. So we got the rematch between Charles Oliveira and Islam happening this weekend. I am using Islam Makhachev in this showcase, and to give it a little more of a realistic feel, decided to turn off the HUD. Hope you guys appreciate that. But let's get right into this matchup. So, we have Islam just coming off of his win in a fight that ended up being way more competitive than people thought it was going to be in his fight against Alexander Volkanovski. And we have Charles Oliveira coming off of his knockout win against Beneil Dariush. Sorry. Yeah, so I'm sure both of these guys have worked on, some fine tuning, making adjustments heading into this rematch. I know the first time that these two were set to face off against each other, I looked at it as kind of like the best version of what Khabib versus Tony was going to look like. Because in Islam, you had the Dagestani wrestling, very similar to Khabib, albeit a slightly different style, Um, Islam is a little more, I guess, systematic in his approach when it comes to the ground. And on the feet, his striking, like technique-wise, and his defensive maneuvers are much better than Khabib. Um, and then we have Charles Oliveira, who's always dangerous when it comes to the ground game. I mean, for God's sake, the man has the most submission wins in the UFC for a reason. But also, he had a bit of a career resurgence in the sense that, the thought was that if you could hurt him, and drop him, he would kind of find a way to quit. That has not been the case in the past few years. That man has really turned the tables on that narrative. Yeah, he has drastically improved his striking, as we've seen in this latest match. Um, the first time that these guys fought, I was super curious of how Islam would address the ground game, if he even would go to the ground against Charles. Which, to my surprise, yeah, he welcomed it, like, with arms wide open. He was not afraid to engage in the ground, and he did a pretty good job at neutralizing Charles when they were on the ground. Neither of them were really able to get too much damage off of each other. Charles had a decent triangle attempt early on when he initially pulled guard in the first round, but Islam was able to work his way out of that. And then, yeah, Islam did a really good job at staying away from traditional takedowns, such as the double leg and the single leg, in order to avoid giving Charles Oliveira his neck. When he did take Charles down, it was more from trips or throws from the clinch. So I imagine he's going to try to implement a lot more of that as well. And Charles, going into that first one, probably underestimated how good Islam's striking was. He I mean, he even said it himself. He kind of let the moment get to him. Islam kind of got into his head a little bit, which is understandable. I mean, that man went into enemy territory in Abu Dhabi. I'm sure he would have loved to have fought in Brazil. It might have been a different story, who knows? But, um, he's got that first match out of the way. He knows what Islam feels like now. Right off the bat, I still favor Islam to win this matchup. I think especially after being in there with Volkanovski, his striking is only going to improve from here. But, Charles Oliveira is always dangerous. You can't let him get a hold of, any limb. If you leave your neck out there for a second, he is very dangerous. But considering how defensively sound Islam is, I still favor him to win this matchup. But to be fair, I've been wrong on quite a few matchups this year. Just to name a few, I thought Robert Whittaker was going to beat Dricus Duplessis. But Dricus pretty much ran through Robert Whittaker. What's another one? I thought Aljamain Sterling was going to be able to take down Sean O'Malley and submit him early. And Sean O'Malley defended all those takedowns, and he managed to knock Aljamain Sterling out in the second round of their fight. And of course, probably most recently, we all thought, well, not everyone, but a large portion of people thought that Izzy was going to completely walk through Sean Strickland. I mean, with all his kickboxing credentials, plus the fact that he was able to avenge his loss against another high-level kickboxer in Alex Pereira, knocking him out clean in the first round. So the narrative was that, if Alex Pereira was able to find the shot to put Sean Strickland away, Izzy would be able to do the same. But Sean Strickland, with his unusual defense, his Philly shell defense when it comes to MMA, was able to just consistently pressure Izzy and really avoid just about everything Izzy threw at him, even the leg kicks. Sean is not known for checking leg kicks, but he checked quite a few of them against Izzy. It's still crazy to me that Sean became the middleweight champion. That's crazy. That is why MMA is the greatest sport in the world. You can have an idea, you can have a thought of how the fight is going to go, but you never really know. You never really know. Anyway, that's my thoughts on how this matchup is going to go. I think it's going to be a much more competitive match. I think Islam is still going to win. And I'm banking that the UFC is hoping that Islam wins this match against Charles, and they're probably going to set up Volkanovski versus Topuria later this year as well. And I'm sure that the UFC is banking and hoping, praying to the MMA gods that both Islam and Alex win their fights respectively, so they can set up the rematch, most likely for the title. Of course, it's going to be for the title, lightweight title. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know down in the comments who you think is going to win this matchup. If you enjoy my content, consider leaving a like. Subscribe to my channel. I'm ready for UFC 5 to drop, lads. I'm ready for it. Been wanting a new MMA game for a while now, and it's just around the corner. I do plan to do like a career mode when that game drops. I have to apologize for the lack of videos lately. Just been busy, school and whatnot. But that's all I have for you today. I'm gonna let the rest of the video play out, and I'll see y'all on the next one.